while we were there, but she wasn't answering. Around 9 o'clock, we hear a knock at the door. Miranda looks out the peephole and sees that it's Ron, and she tells all of us, to be quiet. If we're quiet, he'll go away. And the knocks get harder and harder, and I look at her and I'm like, Miranda, I don't think he's going away. Ron starts talking through the door. He's basically telling us, Miranda, I know you're in there. You need to open up the door. At that point, I get scared. I ask Miranda, can I call the police? And she tells me, no, Jasmine, if you call the police, he's gonna try to take my children. Miranda didn't want to do anything to aggravate him to where she would lose her children. Her children were her life. So maybe about 15 minutes, he leaves. He walks down the stairs. Maybe 5 minutes later, we hear him talking through the door again. So he's back. I hear a gun cock. I told them he has a gun. And they're like, no. I'm like, yes, he has a gun. I knew Ron since I was 16 years old. I just didn't see him as a murderer or a killer. Maybe 2 minutes later, he kicks the door. The deadbolt, chain, everything. The door just flies open, one kick. I really didn't know what was about to happen. And he was standing there and he was breathing hard and he looked like a monster. Like rage had just taken over him. He took about 2 steps towards Fred, and Fred at that point looks at Kevin like, what's going on? And Ron puts the gun up to Fred's head and pulls the trigger. I seen Fred's eyes kind of roll in the back of his head, and he fell off the couch, and I knew he was dead. After he shot Fred, he turned the gun on Kevin, and he shot Kevin twice, and Kevin slumped over. But Kevin had this smile on his face, so the whole time I was thinking Kevin was alive. Miranda, she was standing next to Ron, and she was pleading, kind of almost tugging on him, trying to get him to stop. After he shot Kevin, he turned the gun on me. I just seen my whole life flash in front of me because I felt like at that point, I'm about to die. And he was unloading. He shot at me 11 times. I was struck a total of 6 times. The whole time he was unloading on me, Miranda was crying and pleading. She couldn't get him to stop. She took off running into the bedroom. He went after her. And they were in the bedroom, Miranda and Ron, for maybe a minute or two, and it was quiet. 2 minutes later, I heard pow. I knew she was dead. Something came over me and was like, Jasmine, if you don't play dead, he's gonna kill you. And I kind of hung my head and held my breath. He stepped on Fred on his way out. He did not run. He did not run down the stairs. He walked out. He sat outside in his car, and I knew if I moved, he would see me, and he would come back upstairs and kill me. I'm dying slowly, like this blood was just pouring, like a water fountain, just out of my chest. And I just remember it being real warm, and I was soaked. Blood was everywhere. I still didn't know if I was gonna live or die. Once he did drive off, I kind of put my hands over my chest where I was shot and kind of pressed down so that I could get up to get the phone. I sat down and I called the police, but my mind was just gone. I was terrified. I was scared. The 911 caller kept asking me, where was I? And all I could remember was our apartment number. And I was so scared I couldn't keep talking. And, even though they tried to kind of have a conversation with me, I dropped the phone. And I lay there and I prayed because I felt like I was dying slowly. I kept trying to breathe and try to calm myself down, and I kept singing every church song I could think of. I just kept singing over and over again because I thought if I kept myself calm and keep myself awake, maybe I'll be okay. I was shot in my face, and the bullet was a hollow point. So it left a big hole, and the bullet slid to my neck. I was shot right above my heart. It was a hollow point that didn't explode. If that bullet would have exploded, it would have blew my heart away and I would have died.